You require your players to maintain a 2.3 grade point average. I've committed to maintaining a 3.5.
I love babies, right, Bobby?
What?
Oh, me too, babies.
My father's military, and he was a hand-to-hand combat instructor in the Army.
Oh, okay.
So I was ready to throw hands all the time.
Yeah, so
I
you had
fought
training.
almost every day growing up.
At 41 years old, the actor recently confirmed some awful rumors. What exactly did he say about these rumors? Why did he decide to address them now? How do these rumors affect his career and life?
I like you, Ernest. No. I love you.
Many people have been talking about this, but is everything really true? Let's take a closer look at Robert Ri'chard's story.
How did you get into acting?
Walking home through some blood neighborhood.
Robert Ri'chard's life is like a Hollywood movie, but it's not all glitz and glam. Born on January 7th, 1983, Robert didn't start out in the world of fame and fortune. He grew up in a tough neighborhood where life wasn't easy. As a kid, Robert got caught up in gang life. It wasn't just about causing trouble for him. It was about survival. The gang wasn't just a group of friends. They were his family. For him, this life was the only one he knew. In his early years, Robert didn't see the police as someone who could help him. Instead, he saw them as an enemy. The way he grew up taught him that problems were solved in the streets, not by calling for help. If someone messed with you, it wasn't just words you used to settle things. It was actions. That's how deep Robert was in it.
But I had a teacher named Miss Hannah, and she said, "Careful, you're going to end up a statistic."
Yeah.
And that was the end of.
That was the switch that came on and said,
I don't know what a statistic is, but I don't want to be a black man and be a statistic.
But life has a way of changing things. One day, Robert found himself in a scary situation, outnumbered by gang members. He ran to a random building hoping to escape. The building turned out to be an acting school, and that moment changed his life. Instead of running the streets, Robert found a new path: acting. He left behind the tough world of gangs and stepped into the world of Hollywood.
I live in 60s territory, but I had to walk through like the Dons, like kind of like the jungles.
Ooh.
And there were some BPS Bloods that was there that day, and I was definitely affiliated with a rival gang. And I kind of dipped into a random building, and that building is called Faith Acting Studios.
Really?
And I was just in there stalling.
Even though Robert is no longer living in the streets, his past still plays a big part in his story. The lessons he learned back then help shape his life and keep him grounded. He knows that the streets will always be part of him, but now he uses his experiences to guide others and be a positive influence in the world. For a lot of young kids, a gang can feel like family. They eat with them, hang out with them all the time, and there's a strong loyalty there. It's like having older brothers and sisters, people who look out for you. But sometimes that loyalty can lead them down a dangerous path. If someone wrongs their group, they may feel the need to take matters into their own hands. Instead of going to the police and letting the law handle it, some take revenge into their own hands. This is when violence starts, and that's where things can get messy.
My father's military, and he was a hand-to-hand combat instructor in the Army.
Oh, okay.
So I was ready to throw hands all the time.
Yeah, so
I
you had
fought
training.
almost every day growing up.
Robert knows all about this. He used to be in a gang, and he knows just how tough it can be to break free from that life. It's hard to walk away, especially when that gang feels like family. But Robert found a way out. He says the best way to do it is to focus on education. When you start to make your life better through school, people understand that you're trying to grow. Education is a chance to move from where you are to somewhere better. It's a way to escape the bad stuff and create a brighter future for yourself. Instead of letting all the anger and bad energy drag him down, Robert used it for something good. He took all that energy and turned it into something positive. He worked hard and made his way into Hollywood, turning his past into the fuel for his success. That's what you call a comeback. It's a story of changing everything, using what was once destructive to create something amazing.
But I had a teacher named Miss Hannah, and she said, "Careful, you're going to end up a statistic."
Yeah.
And that was the end of.
That was the switch that came on and said,
I don't know what a statistic is, but I don't want to be a black man and be a statistic.
Robert doesn't stop there, though. He says something surprising. Despite his past with the police, he sees things differently now. He doesn't look at the LAPD as the enemy anymore. Instead, he sees them as people just doing their jobs, trying to protect and serve. It's amazing how life can change. He went from thinking of cops as the bad guys to seeing them as people trying to help. But don't think Robert has forgotten where he came from. Even though he's changed his life, he still carries his past with him. During one interview, he pulled out a blue rag, a symbol of his old gang. He wanted to remind people of his roots and where he came from. People weren't sure if he was still tied to that life or just showing respect for his past. Either way, it got people talking. Robert's story is one you can't make up. He's not ashamed of his past, and he's definitely not trying to hide it. In fact, he's reminding us of where he came from every chance he gets. Let's break down how Robert ended up acting, because this story is wild. Picture this. Robert was running for his life from gang members. Yep, you read that right. He was dodging and weaving through the streets like something out of an action movie. He was desperate to escape and ran into the first building he could find. But instead of finding safety from the gang, he ended up in an acting school. What a twist. Now, instead of turning around and leaving, Robert decided to stick around. He figured he'd cool off and waste some time. He filled out an application, not thinking much of it. But guess what? That moment changed his life. He went from being involved in gang life to becoming someone who could star in movies. It's almost too crazy to believe. But of course, not everyone believes his story. Some people think he's exaggerating for attention. They say he's trying to play up the whole gangster-turned-actor thing for some extra fame. People have accused him of stretching the truth to sound cooler than he is. Robert doesn't let any of that bother him. He says that the rough energy he felt growing up in gangs is what pushes him today. Whether you believe his story or not, that energy seems to be working for him. His career has been a big success, and it shows. You can't forget his iconic roles in shows like One-on-One and Cousin Skeeter.
It was like, are you scared? I'm like, scared? Acting? I'll be the best actor this goddamn school's ever seen. And then that
So
was
a
the
challenge.
rest. Yeah, the challenge.
Yeah.
The rest was history. And then 2 years from that, I had won the Emmy by then.
Robert, the charming actor from the late 90s and early 2000s, became a heartthrob for so many. With his innocent smile and boyish looks, he quickly won over audiences. But don't let that fool you. Behind the charming smile, Robert knew exactly how to play the game in Hollywood. He starred in movies like House of Wax, where he played a character who, well, wasn't always the nicest guy. His role in Coach Carter was another standout. He played a student who just wanted to be the best on the basketball team.
You require your players to maintain a 2.3 grade point average. I've committed to maintaining a 3.5.
Robert also appeared in movies like Chocolate City and Meet the Browns, showing he could do a wide range of roles. Robert's acting career wasn't just limited to movies. He had guest spots on popular TV shows like CSI Miami and The Vampire Diaries. These guest roles helped him stay in the spotlight, keeping his career moving forward. He's not slowing down at all, and it's clear that he's been working hard to stay young and fresh in Hollywood. He's a pro at keeping up with the hustle, looking as if he hasn't aged a day. That's part of the game in Hollywood, and Robert has mastered it. Then there's Megan Good. If you remember the show Cousin Skeeter, you know exactly who she is. Back then, she and Robert shared some really cute, innocent on-screen chemistry. But fast forward a few years, and their reunion in another project took their energy to a whole new level. Robert was all smiles, saying how great it felt to work with Megan again, just like the old days. They were even joking about how their relationship in Cousin Skeeter would be remembered forever.
I love babies, right, Bobby?
What? Oh, me too, babies.
But let's not forget the real heat that came with their reunion. Fans still talk about the steamy strip scene they did together in one of their projects. People couldn't believe it. After watching them as young teens on Cousin Skeeter, seeing them in such an intense scene together was shocking. It was a moment that had everyone talking, unsure whether to be surprised or hit replay. Megan even shared that the first scene they did together was a little awkward for her. When Robert tore off his pants, she realized something she wasn't expecting. It was a funny yet stressful moment for her, but fans definitely remember it. Robert and Megan's career paths have been full of exciting moments, showing their growth as actors. Their chemistry, both on-screen and off, has kept fans coming back for more. And with Robert looking just as young as ever, it seems like there's a lot more in store for these two. Ri'chard shared some heartfelt thoughts about Megan Good and her relationship with Jonathan Majors. He spoke about his long friendship with Megan, saying they grew up together, and he feels like she's a little sister to him. He mentioned how they spent their high school years on set, filming together. Over time, their bond grew stronger, and they became like family. Robert described her as someone who is very dear to his heart and someone he loves dearly. When it comes to Megan's relationship with Jonathan Majors, Robert couldn't help but speak highly of her. He praised Megan as a godly woman, someone with a strong character and good judgment. He explained that Megan is known for being a great person both inside and out. Robert expressed how much love and respect he has for her, saying that the world also loves her for the person she is. Robert made it clear that Megan has always shown good judgment, and he doesn't think she would ever put herself in a situation that would jeopardize her character. He also spoke about how in America, people should be considered innocent until proven guilty. He stressed the importance of letting the facts come out before jumping to conclusions. Robert acknowledged that sometimes people are wrongfully judged, and he believes that Megan stands by her choices, even when others might doubt her. He didn't know Jonathan Majors personally, but he trusts Megan's judgment. Robert's support for Megan was clear, showing how much he believes in her integrity. Ri'chard has always been known for his charm and dedication to his work, but recently, he took his support for someone special, Megan, to a whole new level. You could almost hear the honesty in his voice when he spoke about her, saying she's like a sister to him. His words felt real, and you could tell that he truly believes in her. This wasn't just some celebrity compliment thrown out for the cameras. It came from a place of deep respect and loyalty. At the time, Robert's words were even more meaningful because he was going through a tough situation himself. He had been arrested in March 2023, facing legal troubles after an alleged altercation with his ex-girlfriend. While the media was full of gossip and negative headlines about him, Robert used his voice to support Megan. It wasn't just about her being famous or good-looking. It was about her strength, smarts, and character. He wanted everyone to know that Megan is much more than what people might see on the surface.
Evan Jackson from Young Bold and Regal. I was at that reunion with Megan Good on Harlem. The fans on social media went absolutely crazy for you. How was that reunion?
It's fantastic. I mean, we're going to be, memorialized forever in cinema because of our relationship on Cousin Skeeter, and having the come back on Harlem is great. And then we're going to do some other projects together too. We have some other things coming down the pipeline.
Robert's support of Megan showed that real friendship isn't about just being in the spotlight together. It's about being there for each other through thick and thin. Despite all the drama surrounding him, Robert took a moment to remind everyone of Megan's true worth. His shout-out wasn't just a celebrity flex, it was a real message of support and care. But Robert isn't just about friendship. He's also focused on building his career and his health. He's been promoting a health and wellness brand called EPM, which stands for Elite Performance Medicine. He talks about the company like it's changing the game, and it might be. EPM focuses on products that help people feel better, recover from injuries, and improve their performance. Robert shared some of the products with the public, like Reborn, which helps with muscle and joint pain, and Fountain of Youth, a product that promises to help with beauty. He also showed off Allure, which he calls a beauty rest in a bottle. All of these products fit into Robert's lifestyle of health and fitness, something he's passionate about. This isn't new for Robert. His dedication to fitness goes back to his acting days, especially when he had to get in shape for his role on The Vampire Diaries. He shared that he had to slim down and build muscle to match the character's supernatural vibe. He worked hard to make sure his body was fit for all the action-packed scenes. Robert put in the effort, and it paid off. He even said that the balance between love and drama in The Vampire Diaries really challenged him as an actor, but it also helped him grow. Through all of his ups and downs, Robert has always been someone who works hard to improve himself, whether it's his body, his career, or his relationships. His friendship with Megan shows that even in tough times, true friends stick together and lift each other up. Whether he's promoting health products or supporting a friend, Ri'chard is all about staying strong, both physically and emotionally. Robert Ri'chard is known for his good looks and charming personality, but there's so much more to him than just his sexy vampire roles. Fans can't stop swooning over him, and it's clear that he knows how to keep that ageless look. He jokes around about staying young and beautiful, and honestly, he does seem to have found the secret to looking forever youthful. People have even started comparing him to actor Neil McDonough, saying they look like long-lost twins. Can you imagine them playing brothers in a movie? That would be cool, right? But while fans are busy making these comparisons, Robert is doing his thing and proving that he's more than just a pretty face. He's not just about looks. He's working hard to keep his acting career strong while also diving into business ventures. Robert knows it's not enough to just rely on past roles. He's constantly looking ahead and making sure he's building a future where he stays relevant and fabulous. Whether it's showing off his muscles or pushing new business ideas, he's all about keeping that hustle alive. And let's talk about the rumors. There's been talk about a possible reboot of the show, One-on-One. Imagine seeing Flex, Kyla Pratt, and the whole gang back together. That would be amazing. Fans are excited about the possibility, and Robert is keeping us on our toes. He's staying busy, not just acting, but making moves in the business world too. When you think he's done surprising us, he always finds a way to keep the buzz going. Robert's journey from a tough background to Hollywood is inspiring. He came from a rough neighborhood and used education to help him escape that life. Now, with a net worth of around $400,000, he's created his own space in the industry. While he hasn't reached A-list status yet, he's made a name for himself with his acting, fitness goals, and business ventures. His fans can't help but admire his drive and ambition. He's not just the guy with a pretty face. He's got a plan, and he's making it happen. But it's not all just about the spotlight for Robert. He's always reminding people of where he came from, even if it means bringing out a gang rag on live TV. It's part of his story, and he's not afraid to show that side of himself. His fans appreciate that he's real and never forgets his roots, no matter how successful he becomes. So what will Robert be remembered for? Probably for being the guy who keeps us all guessing. He's always got something up his sleeve, and we can't wait to see what's next. Whether it's new roles, business ventures, or surprising us with another big move, Robert Ri'chard is definitely someone to watch. Okay, let's just switch gears for a second and talk about his love life. I mean, pretty guy like that. Can't tell me you're not at least curious to know who he's fallen in and out of love with.
What do you say? Your place, no strings?
So the romance rumors between Rob, I bet she calls him Rob, and Kyla Pratt have had fans talking for years. Their on-screen chemistry in One-on-One, where Robert played Arnaz and Kyla played Brianna, had people wondering if that spark was real-life magic.
I like you, Inez. No. I love you.
In 2013, the buzz really kicked into high gear. Fans and the media started to wonder if these two, who had a complicated but cute relationship on the show, were secretly dating off-screen. The duo was spotted together at events all the time, and the way they interacted just seemed way too natural, adding fuel to the fire. Even with all the rumors flying around, Robert and Kyla never officially confirmed anything. They kept their personal lives pretty private, never giving fans a clear answer about what was really going on between them. Of course, that only made people more curious, leaving everyone to wonder if there was more to their bond than met the eye. Besides the Kyla Pratt rumors, he was also linked to actress Vivica A. Fox in the mid-2000s. The couple made headlines because of their age gap, Vivica being almost 2 decades older than Robert. They definitely had chemistry, showing up together at events and sharing cute moments. But like many celebrity relationships, it eventually fizzled out, and they moved on with no bad blood. Over the years, Robert's been at the center of other dating rumors with various celebs. He keeps people guessing about his personal life, though, by staying pretty private and keeping the focus on his career and personal growth. Every now and then, he'll drop a few hints on social media, posting pics that leave fans wondering if there's something going on. But Robert's mastered the art of keeping things just mysterious enough to avoid the paparazzi frenzy. Robert's clean-cut image has kept him mostly out of Hollywood's messier stories. But let's not forget, fame comes with its fair share of temptations. At the peak of his popularity, whispers started circling about his connection to the wild side of Hollywood. Though Robert was always known for his professionalism, he was still seen in those Hollywood party circles. Rumors of late-night fun and crazy parties swirled around him. But unlike some of his peers, Robert was able to ride the wave of the nightlife without falling into the dangerous habits that often take down young stars. There were a couple of close calls, though. His inner circle talks about times when Robert was right on the edge of a potential scandal, but his discipline and the people around him helped him avoid the spotlight for the wrong reasons. It's clear he knew how to keep his head in the game, even in a world full of distractions. Fast forward to today, Robert Ri'chard is 41 years old, and he's come a long way. He's no longer that kid in the streets. Now he's a successful actor, known for his roles in TV shows and movies. But even though his life has changed, his past still follows him. The experiences from his tough childhood shaped who he is today. Robert hasn't forgotten where he came from. He's been open about his past, admitting the struggles he faced growing up. But he's also proud of how far he's come. He's learned a lot from his rough past and uses those lessons to guide his life now. One of the people who's been by Robert's side throughout his journey is actress Megan Good, and like I said earlier, their bond goes beyond just acting. When they were on the red carpet together, Megan whispered to Robert that they had many more years ahead of them in the business. They've been at it for over 30 years, and their friendship is still strong. Robert stays focused on staying in shape and looking after his health, so he's ready for whatever comes next in his career.